My name is Clara Whitmore, and the first time my mother called my inherited house ours, I knew she had already decided it wasn't mine anymore. She stood in the living room like she belonged there, her purse on the kitchen counter, her shoes still on the hardwood floors my grandmother had polished every Sunday morning. "It's only fair," she said calmly. "This house should help the family. Your sister needs stability." My sister sat on the couch, silent, scrolling her phone like she was waiting for the keys to appear in her hand. I didn't argue. I didn't remind them that my grandmother had left it to me, not them. I just listened, because arguing with my mother never changed her mind. It only taught her how much resistance she needed to break. Weeks passed, and their visits became routine. My mother brought contractors without asking, measured rooms, talked about renovations like I wasn't standing there. One night, I overheard her whispering to my sister, "If she refuses, we'll handle it legally. She can't keep what belongs to family." I stayed silent, not because I was weak, but because I had already made my decision. And they never noticed the for sale sign until it was far too late. I didn't tell them. Not when the realtor walked through the house with quiet professionalism. Not when she complimented the original woodwork my grandmother loved. Not when she asked gently, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I just nodded, because this was never about the house. It was about ownership, not of property, of myself. The offers came faster than I expected. Quiet buyers. Serious buyers. People who saw the home for what it was, not leverage, not entitlement, just a place to live. I accepted one within a week.
Cash. Clean.
Final. The paperwork was simple. My name was the only one on the deed. My signature was the only one required. I packed slowly.
Carefully.
Folding pieces of my grandmother into boxes that smelled like dust and memory. My mother kept visiting. She talked about paint colors, kitchen upgrades, where my sister's bed would go. I let her talk, because the closing date was already set. The morning I handed over the keys, I didn't cry. I didn't hesitate. I just walked away. 2 days later, I moved into a small apartment across town. New locks. New silence. My phone buzzed nonstop. Missed calls. Angry messages. My mother had finally noticed something was wrong. But by then, it was already irreversible. My mother showed up 3 days later. Not to visit.
To take.
I watched from across the street, sitting inside my car, as she marched up to the front door with my sister behind her. She pulled the spare key from her purse, the one she had taken without asking months ago. She smiled while she unlocked the door. Except it didn't open. She tried again. Harder this time. Her shoulders stiffened. Then she knocked. Hard. The door opened, but not the way she expected. A stranger stood there.
Calm.
Confused. Holding a coffee mug. My mother froze. "Where's Clara?" she demanded. The man blinked. "I'm sorry, who?" My sister stepped forward, her voice sharp. "This is our house." The man frowned.
No.
"I bought this house." The words hit her like gravity. From inside my car, I watched her face drain of certainty. She called me immediately. I let it ring once.
Twice.
Then answered. "What did you do?" she hissed. I didn't raise my voice. "I sold my house." Silence. Then rage. "You had no right." I stared at the front door she thought she owned. "It was never yours." She hung up. But she wasn't done. Because the next mistake she made would be the one she couldn't undo. She came back that night. Not with questions. With force. The new owner had already gone inside. Lights off. Unaware that my mother and sister were standing on the porch again, whispering to each other like conspirators. From my apartment miles away, my phone buzzed. Not from her. From the security company. I had transferred the system to the new owner during closing, but I was still listed as the original contact until midnight. The alert was simple. Attempted forced entry detected. Authorities notified. My chest didn't tighten. I didn't panic. I just waited. Minutes later, my phone rang again. This time it was her. "What did you tell them?" she screamed. I could hear sirens faintly in the background. "I told no one anything," I said calmly. You think you're clever? She spat. This is still our house. I closed my eyes. No, I replied. It never was. She hung up. I turned on the news app without thinking. A small headline had already appeared. Police respond to attempted break-in at recently sold residence. She had tried to claim something she never owned. And now the law was involved. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the one being threatened. She was. The police called me the next morning. Not to accuse, to confirm. Ms. Whitmore, the officer said calmly, we understand you were the previous owner of the property on Hawthorne Lane. Yes, I replied. There was an attempted unlawful entry last night. The current homeowner identified the individuals as your relatives. I didn't react, didn't defend her, didn't soften the truth. They're not authorized to be there, I said simply. There was a pause on the line. Understood. That one word closed a door she never believed could shut on her. An hour later, my mother called. Not angry this time. Panicked. They're saying it's trespassing, she said, her voice trembling. Fix this. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. I sat by my apartment window, sunlight touching the floor in ways that felt unfamiliar but peaceful. There's nothing to fix, I said quietly. You're doing this to your own family? I let the silence answer her. Because family doesn't threaten arrest to steal what isn't theirs. She began crying. Not from loss, from consequence. And for the first time in my life, I didn't move to comfort her. Because this time, the law wasn't on her side. It was on mine. 2 days later, she tried one last time. Not with force. With manipulation. She showed up at my apartment unannounced, standing in the hallway like she had every right to be there. Her eyes were red, but not from grief, from frustration. You've made your point, she said quietly. Now stop this. I leaned against the doorframe, steady. I didn't make a point, I replied. I made a decision. She stepped closer. Your sister has nowhere stable now. That house was supposed to fix everything. I didn't answer immediately. Because I finally understood something I hadn't before. It was never about stability. It was about control. You tried to have me arrested, I said calmly. You called it a family solution. Her face tightened. We were protecting what belonged to us. I shook my head. It never belonged to you. Silence stretched between us. For once, she had no leverage, no authority, no ownership. Just the reality of a boundary she couldn't cross. She looked past me, into my small apartment. The quiet, the independence, the life she couldn't dictate. You've changed, she whispered. I met her eyes. No, I said. I stopped letting you decide who I am. She left without another word. And for the first time, I didn't watch her go. Because she no longer had the power to take anything from me. A week later, I received a letter. Not from her. From her attorney. I opened it slowly, expecting another threat. Another attempt to twist reality into something she could still control. Instead, it was a withdrawal. They were abandoning their claim entirely. No challenge. No dispute. No legal argument left to make. At the bottom, in cold formal language, was the truth she could never say herself. No legal ownership. No standing. No claim. I set the letter down and stared at it for a long time. For years, she had made me believe everything I had was temporary, conditional, dependent on her approval. Now, even her lawyer had confirmed what she never would. She had nothing. That evening, my sister called. Not angry, not demanding, just quiet. You didn't have to go that far, she said. I almost laughed. You tried to take everything from me. Silence. Then she whispered, Mom thought you'd given like always. I closed my eyes. I don't anymore. She didn't argue, because deep down they both knew. The person they used to control was gone, and she wasn't coming back. A month later, I drove past Hawthorne Lane one last time, not to reclaim anything, just to close the chapter properly. The house looked different now. New curtains. A garden beginning to grow where my grandmother once planted roses. Life moving forward, untouched by the weight my family had tried to attach to it. I didn't stop the car. I didn't need to, because the house had never been the real inheritance. Freedom was. My phone buzzed once. A message from my mother. "We miss you." Not, "I'm sorry." Not, "I was wrong." Just distance pretending to be regret. I stared at the words for a moment, then locked my phone and set it aside. Some bridges don't burn. They simply stop existing. I drove back toward my apartment, my life, my choices. No threats. No forced sacrifices. No quiet fear of losing everything to someone else's entitlement. She had tried to take my house. Instead, she gave me something she could never reclaim. My independence.